I want to make sure I introduce him properly. Andy has been a tireless advocate of greater opportunity for workers and small business. We're talking about small business today in a very big way. He's also been an advocate for government transparency and effectiveness in our government. Common sense solutions, which we definitely need at this time, to difficult problems that we people face every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Caldwell.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to start off by going back a little bit. You know, China had a viral outbreak. Most people believe it was accidental, and regardless of whether you believe it was originally accidental, the spread across the world was intentional, because they shut down internal flights within their country, but they allowed international flights to continue from Wuhan, which is a hub in China equivalent to our Chicago. So regardless of that history, they buried the medical history and whatever research they had on the virus. So when it hit the shores of America, we didn't know exactly what we were dealing with. And so I was one of the people that supported Governor Newsom's initial goals of flattening the curve, creating surge capacity in our hospitals, and implementing social distancing and gathering personal protective equipment for the people, the heroic men and women that are on the front lines of this thing in our hospitals and doctors' offices. I supported all of that, but it was all supposed to be temporary. It was supposed to be temporary. And once we satisfied the surge capacity, the PPE, and the other conditions, he started moving the goalposts. He started changing the criteria. And it was like Lucy, you know, it was, remember Peanuts with Charlie and Lucy and the football. That's what I feel like we're at right now. Every week, like last week, Santa Barbara County, this last Tuesday, Santa Barbara County said they were going to be able to reopen today, but yesterday he added 2 more criteria. That's right. And he keeps moving the goalpost. And the point is if you look at the real data, people get confused. The real data is that the overwhelming majority of people that catch COVID-19 are asymptomatic. And the most bizarre thing that's happening in the world right now is Sweden did not do a major shutdown. And at first, Sweden was being condemned because they were being irresponsible. But what they said and what others said is Sweden wasn't conducting an experiment by not shutting down. The rest of the world was conducting an experiment by shutting down. Never in the history of the world have we quarantined healthy people. Yeah. And let me tell you where I'm at right now. Where I'm at right now is I've got asthma. So, and I'm 62. So I have a target on my back for COVID-19. So I take this seriously. But I also take this seriously. And let me tell you what my big problem is right now. I don't want to have to choose between these two. Because if we choose this, we will never get this back again. And so let me tell you what's happened here. So for instance, they told us to quarantine at home. Well, this week, and that never made sense to me because I was an industrial relations and safety manager, and in times past, so I understand about how things spread. And I actually created a respirator program for a company with 300 industrial workers. So I know about respirators, how to wear them, how to test them, and all the mistakes that people can make. Well, here's the bottom line. It's easier for most of us to social distance at work than it is at home. And I've been saying this for 2 months. Most people have their own workstation, their own office, or their own cubicle, their own phone, their own computer, and they don't have to share everything. But if you force people into the house, how many of them are going to wear a mask at home and wipe down the microwave oven and the telephone and the channel changer and the bathroom sink and the toilet handle? They don't do it. And so what happened, they forced us to be home. And then last week, Governor Cuomo had to admit that 66% of the new COVID positive cases were people that were isolating at home. So now we're playing whack-a-mole with the coronavirus because they told us to stay at home. We stayed at home, and even though the incident rate's going down, the hospitalization rate's going down, the ICU rates are going down, and hospitals are going broke because we've ignored every other health criteria known to man. We lost $17 billion in California alone. And people, the alcoholism rates are going up, domestic violence rates are going up, drug abuse is going up, prescription use is going up, suicides are going up, and people that need to be diagnosed for a stroke or a heart attack or melanoma or cancer aren't getting the treatment. So they've already done the math. The cost of the shutdown in terms of health is now exceeding the impact from the COVID virus 19. That is beyond the pale. And folks, the only thing we can do is what you're doing here today is protest. It is the only thing we can do. So the bottom line, Cuomo says, wow, 66% of the people now getting it are getting it while isolating at home. So what does Ventura County do this week? Ventura County makes an announcement that we're going to start contract tracing by hiring up to 50 to 100 people to go into people's homes. And if there is one positive person in that home and we don't believe they can isolate within the house, we're removing them from the home.
Under gunfire.
Well, the bottom line here, folks, is the criteria they were using as well. What if there's only one bathroom? You know, I don't know if they're going to check on their toilet paper supply at the same time. But the point here is there is no means known to man to stop a virus or a contamination threat by way of shutting everybody into quarantine and isolation for a year or so that it would take to develop a vaccine or some miracle drug cure. There's just no way. And the damage we're doing to our economy is destroying people's lives, and I'll end in this. I got run over, literally run over in late February, early March by telling people the virus is real, but the panic could be worse because they still wanted to rush towards the exit. Now I'm getting run over by a different crowd, and that is as a guy that works for a nonprofit, I would like to be able to get financial relief for the organization I work for, Collab. But the point is I know the federal government doesn't have the money to make us whole. And so the people now are becoming dependent, independent business people, entrepreneurs, the people that are the backbone and secret of the success of the American economy are now becoming government dependent for their livelihood. And folks, that is a different type of virus that is just as deadly, if not more deadly, to the American spirit as is COVID-19. We need to encourage our leaders to protest. We complied. It's now time to defy. But we have to do it. But we have to do this carefully because Governor Newsom is already starting to yank state licenses from people that refuse to bend the knee. And so the only thing that's going to work is events like this where people like Debbie Arnold and John Pashong and Lynn Compton we'll be able to see that the people are behind us. We satisfied the criteria. We can't continue to play Lucy in the football or whack-a-mole. Thank you very much.